A few moments later.
The process speech is about the steps on how to properly read a scientific paper. To form a truly educated opinion on a scientific subject, you need to become familiar with current research in that field. And to be able to distinguish between good and bad interpretations of research, you have to be willing and able to read the primary research literature for yourself. Reading and understanding research paper is a skill that every single doctor and scientist has had to learn during graduate school. You can learn it too, but like any skill, it takes patience and practice. Before we go to the steps, here is my general advice for you. Reading a scientific paper is a completely different process than reading an article about science in a blog or newspaper. Not only do you read the sections in a different order than they are presented, but you also have to take notes. Read it multiple times and probably go look up other papers for some of the details. Reading a single paper may take you a very long time at first. Be patient with yourself, and the process will go much faster as you gain experience. As you read, write down every single word that you don't understand. You are going to have to look them all up. Yes, every single one of them. I know it's difficult and maybe a total pain, but you won't understand the paper if you don't understand the vocabulary. Because scientific words have extremely precise meanings. Okay, here is the steps on how to properly read scientific paper. First one. Read the introduction first, not the abstract. Why? Because the abstract is the lengthy first paragraph found at the start of an article. While in reality, when a non-scientist like me are attempting to construct a scientific argument, that is often the only part of the paper they read, always read the abstract last, as it provides a concise overview of the entire article. 2. Identify the big question. What problem is this entire field trying to solve? Is better or rather than? What is the topic of this paper? And this will let you concentrate on why you are doing the study in the first place. Keep an eye out for signs of agenda-driven analysis. Third one, summarize the background in 5 sentences or less. What previous research has been done in this area to answer the big question? What are the constraints of that project? And according to the authors, what should be done next? To comprehend this study, you must be able to succinctly clarify why it was conducted. Fourth, identify the specific questions. What is the question that the authors are attempting to address with their research? There may be more than one question, or only maybe one. You should make a list of them. Identify the question, whether the study involved testing one or more null hypotheses. Fifth, identify the approach. What steps will the authors take to respond to the specific questions? 6. Read the results section. For each experiment, figure, and table, write one or more paragraphs to summarize the findings. Don't try to work out what the findings mean just yet, just write them down. The findings are often summarized in the figures and tables, and you should pay close attention to what they are doing. Any of the findings may also need to be found in supplementary online information archives. 7. Determine whether the results answer the specific questions or not. What do you think they mean? You don't go on until you have given this some thought. It's fine to change your mind in light of the author's interpretations. In fact, if you are new to this type of research, you'll probably do so. But it's a good habit to start developing your own interpretations before you reading others. 8. Read the conclusion. What do the writers make of the findings? Are you in synchronized with them? Is there any other way to interpret them that you might think of? Or do the writers see any flaws in their own research? Or do you think there are some that the writers overlook? Well, you don't expect them to be perfect. And what are their recommendations for the next steps? And do you agree with theirs? 9. Read the abstract. Is it consistent with the author's statement in the paper? Is it consistent with your reading of the paper? 10. Find out about what researchers think about the paper. Who are the recognized or self-proclaimed authorities in this field? Do they have any critiques of the research that you haven't considered, or do they support it in general? Here is one spot where I strongly advise you to use Google. But you should do it less, so you are better prepared to think critically about what other people say.
A few moments later.
So that it is the steps on how to properly read the scientific paper. I hope my explanations are easy for you to understand. And I'm really sorry if I misspoke or making mistakes in my explanation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it so much. Goodbye.